Okay, so here's my Berserk shelf down here. For a while, I kind of had this rule for myself that I wasn't allowed to buy anime figures that weren't from One Piece, and I kind of broke that recently and finally just got myself an All Might figure. I've been wanting All Might for years now, and then decided, oh, I'm gonna give a whole shelf to My Hero Academia. I'm gonna give a whole shelf to Berserk. And up here is one of the shelves that is still in progress. Yeah, my collection still isn't set up exactly how I want it, but I figure this will kind of just be a video of the progress, and then sometime next year I'll probably make another video where everything's a little bit more set up and complete than it is right now. But yeah, this stuff is just sitting here. This one right here is the Super Toho 30 centimeter Godzilla 2000, Godzilla 1999, and yeah, I have some figures that aren't even out here. I mean, probably a lot, but I'm thinking one of my shelves is going to be dedicated to like random stuff like this Urbosa, maybe a few other video game statues, and maybe like a few anime figures that I don't have a whole shelf dedicated to, because most of my shelves are dedicated to One Piece except for these two. Then yeah, I'm thinking of doing another shelf, like I said, that's just stuff like this. Oh yeah, and I broke a figure a few days ago actually. It's this little Den Mushi here, so look at that. I had some stuff on the floor here, which I mean wasn't a good idea. It's never a good idea, especially when the room's cluttered like this one was. So I had the Snell down there. I was walking past, and yeah, I stepped on him. Now he is destroyed. So whatever. And then yeah, here's My Hero Academia shelf. I mean, I was just looking at it. So yeah, I have a few more figures coming for this collection right here. But yeah, there's that. There's one of my Wano shelves, Berserk. Now let's go to the other side. So I'm sitting on the floor now, and I don't like displaying figures this low to the ground, but it was either I would have to put a whole bunch more away or display them like this. So I decided I'll just put them here and then sit down when I want to look at them. So here's the Figuarts Zero Kaido here, and I did have him up here, which we'll get to. Now I have Jack up there. But I'm kind of missing Kaido there. I did like the look of the Dragon Kaido with the regular Kaido by each other. Yeah, here's just some random stuff. This damn Zoro, his sword's always falling out of his mouth. But yeah, I'll figure out what I do with this shelf. It was kind of finished at one point a few months ago, and then I moved a lot of the stuff from it to this Wano shelf back there. So that's another reason I'm just doing this video now, even though the collection isn't ready yet, because some of these shelves that are complete right now might completely change by the time everything else is ready. Then the little Marco and Ace, and then little Oars Jr. I wish they would make a bigger figure of him, but I like this one, how I have him displayed with the little WCF Moby Dick, so he does look big in comparison to that. But I hope they make a figure of him as big as this Whitebeard one day. I really doubt that, though. We have a bigger Moby Dick over here. I wish they would have made more ships in this line. Oh, and here's a real mess of a shelf. This is my Thriller Bark shelf. This one was a little more put together just a few weeks ago, but it's become a real mess lately. I got this figure in a bag there, then just Moria scattered around, Luffy in here. And I have two more Oars figures. I'll probably get them out and put them in here, or at least one of them. The other one I have is this same one, but just the regular one, because this one is it has a custom paint job on it by somebody on Yahoo Auctions I bought it from. I gotta get this one ready, and then over here is my Whole Cake Island shelf. And I'm not satisfied with this one, at least not yet. So have Tankman there, Jinbei, Big Mom, Katakuri. Yeah, it just feels like it's missing something for me, so I'm gonna put some more thought into it when I have time and see what I end up doing. Now let's move up to the rest. Alright, so here's my second Wano shelf. But yeah, so Tobiropo here, Ulti back there, Jack, Queen, King, and Kaido, Dragon Kaido. Yeah, I really like this one. I just might make a few little changes, like I might put the Figuarts Zero Kaido back up there. And then up here I have a Luffy shelf, and that's why it's always fun to just reorganize things every now and then, because I never would have thought of this kind of layout until I was doing it a few months ago. And I really do like this one. It's kind of symmetrical. How I have, you know, the Luffy and Katakuri fight back there. Kaido and Luffy on the other side. Then I have one Luffy on each corner of the shelf. A Luffy there, another Luffy there. 3 WCFs and 3 Luffys behind them. So I have the Egghead WCFs down here. And I was going to get the rest of the sets because I have volume 1 and 2 right here. I was going to buy volume 3, 4, and I think volume 5 might even be out now too. But it's just like I'm trying to cut down on what I buy because now I really have a good idea of exactly how much space I have, because back like a few months ago, my collection was such a mess that I bought more figures than I had space for. So I'm like, don't want to do that again. Now I'm going to make sure to keep it all good and organized like this, and I just really got to be careful to not buy anything unnecessary, and these WCFs can take up space pretty fast. I mean, they're small, but it's easy to buy a lot of them, you know? And this one, I don't know what it is, but I am not satisfied with this shelf yet, so I'll be changing something about it, but I mean, I like it. I'm the one that set it up for myself to look at, so I like it. I just feel like it just doesn't feel 100% there yet. But here it is right now, and up here is my little WCF shelf. So this one's a little bit of a mess kind of back there. You got Whitebeard back there. It was a little bit more organized a few months ago, but yeah, I still gotta make some changes here. I have some minifigures there in front. And I'm not sure what's going to be here on the very top. I just have some random figures there right now while I'm sorting everything around and figuring out which ones are going back into their boxes or where they're going. You know, I have new ones I'm opening still, so let's look at this top shelf, the last one. And I think this one is pretty much done. I'm pretty happy with this one. I have some Portrait of Pirates there lined up, kind of going shorter to taller. We have Soga King, then Zoro, a little bit taller. Luffy, taller than Dofi, taller than Luffy. And then we have this Den Den Mushi right there, and little baby Geezer. Then I have my box sets there, and yeah, I might have to switch those out at some point because I have 2 box sets down at the very bottom and then 2 up here, and you know, there are times I want to read them, obviously, so maybe I'll switch those out for some figure boxes or something else at some point, because I don't like having to move my figures off every time I want to look at a volume, you know. So Nami, Dofi, Brook, Thousand Sunny, this one's great, and then Frankie, another great one. Yeah, so there's my current collection and what I plan to do going forward, and probably sometime next year I'll have another video about the collection.